Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and this is Too Many Bones. We have made it all the way to day number 10. This is the epic finale video, our boss battle against, or our tyrant battle I should say, against Drellen Paleface. We are in the bog with him. He's got two baddies side by side, both of which need to be removed from the battle mat prior to Drellen taking any damage. Drellen is also immune to poison effects, making him that much tougher. So our toxins and poison darts will not be of use to us against him, but the bog frog and the clay golem will certainly be getting a couple gifts in the mail. So what we're going to do is, first off, I'm going to thank everybody for all of the amazing strategy comments, all the backing I had really playing through this. You guys have been incredible. The amount of people that have jumped on board and given their thoughts and comments made it really feel like you guys were actually at the table, which is exactly what I want these playthroughs to feel like. I want you guys to feel invested as much in them as I am. And it's really, really cool to see how many people really enjoyed this game. And I can promise you in the future here, I will be doing a two-handed playthrough, which we will decide a tyrant on based on some type of voting in the description or comments. Sorry, not the description, the comments. Or Board Game Geek. We'll find a poll there somehow and do it that way to pick our gear locks and pick our tyrant, or maybe even just, like I said, do it in the comments below. We'll find a way to make it work, but either way, we got Gloom of Kilforth coming up next, and then Sword and Sorcery. So we're going to take a little break from Too Many Bones, but I guarantee you it will be back, so do not panic. Because I really do love this game. I think we need to play it a little bit more, because it's got a lot of depth to it, and we haven't even seen all of it. So let's get to this epic battle. Where are we? We are in day number 10. It's a do or die situation. If I haven't already said that before, this is it. We only have this one opportunity to actually take Drellen down in Shellfish. So we are currently in a bog, if you can imagine that. Essentially, any movement on this battle mat from us costs us 2 decks, whereas the enemies can move around the mat freely because they are bog-type baddies and they do not have to struggle to get through the bog. They're very familiar with the terrain, whereas Patches is not. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind when we want to move. We'll try not to move that much at the beginning because I think most of the enemies are melee, so they're going to be coming to us. But we also got a couple things to remind ourselves of. We have the Spirits of Ebon, we have the Mechanical Assistance, and we have the Mechanical Boomerang. So we've got a couple things that are really going to help us, along with a great assortment of different skills. So let's get right into it and kind of see where this kicks off from. So we are obviously in round number 1. So the initiative die for Drellen, of course, needs to go to the top of the track. And Drellen's turn initiates. Typically the Tyrant dies for him, which each Tyrant has his own die, sits on him. At least until we use it, but for now I'm just going to move it aside because I don't want it blocking the face so you guys can see what the stats are. So we're going to move this guy. He's going to come adjacent. He has 2 movement available. He only needs 1 to become orthogonally against or beside Patches. So now he's ready to go ahead and attack. He's got a ton of dice, as you can see. So 3 attack dice, 2 defense dice, and that little black goldish kind of die in the bottom left is his Tyrant die. So we get 1 of those. 2 defense dice because he's going to definitely make sure that he's kind of ready to go. And we're going to grab ourselves 3 attack dice. So he's going to come at us pretty heavy out of the gates. And we really have to hope that he doesn't hit us too hard because this will be a fairly substantial attack. Okay, so that's pretty nasty. So we've got 1 cock die, which I'm going to re-roll because there we go. So we got a bone. Okay, so we got 2, a 1, a 1 for 2 defense. So 1 of his defense die will go on him. That's a pretty strong defense. The other one was nothing. He doesn't get any advantages to having bones rolled, so that's nice. So there's 1 dead die. The really cool thing about him pulling this is that it's considered a poison enhancer. As you can see, this kind of correlates with this one right here, and it says set any existing poison effective dice to 3 on Drellen's targets. Good thing we don't have any poison dice on him, and I will be using the Spirits of Ebon the second that 1 tries to go on him, to avoid this Tyrant die from doing damage to me. So this one is useless right now, which is great, but he managed to actually hit us for 4, which is a pretty substantial smack, because I only have 6 health total. So he's basically hit Patches very, very hard right off the hop, which is not what you want to see. And he's also got himself 2 defense. So now Patches is going to go. Good thing is he's not poisoned, thank goodness. So I get to put 1 on and actually get back up to 3. So that's nice. Now I've got choices here, and I've got to make some decisions. I want to kill off this Bog Frog 100% because he's going to not only on the next turn initiate and throw poison on me, which is not good, I need to be able to block with defense. I also need to get rid of him off this mat as fast as possible. So I also need to heal now because I'm so weak. So the medkit makes the most sense. Not only does the medkit make sense, but I have this ×2 to help me get back up to 6. My highest roll is a 3, which would get me back to max health if I rolled it. So this is a good die to use right now. So I'm going to use the medkit skill die right now. I'm also going to do some attacking, of course, and I'm going to be using 3 attack dice. So currently I could use 4. I have up to 6 decks, so I could even go 1 more, and I probably will. So that's that, and then I'm going to grab 1 defense die because I want to make sure that Patches is kind of ready to handle the heat because things could get ugly. Now the other thing I could think about too is the poison dart. So I also want to be able to throw a poison dart at the clay golem and get him poisoned as early as possible. So maybe I do a little change up here. Maybe I ditch I'm going to ditch one of my attack dice. I'm going to use this poison dart right away. So this is my 6 dice going in, and the plan is to do quite, this is going to be quite the battle. This is going to be quite the battle. So here we go. Let's see how this pans out, all right? Here we go. What did we get? Oh, that's amazing. We got a really great roll. Okay, this is an amazing roll. Didn't do so well in the attacking, but we got enough here to do a lot of different things. So not only did we get an amazing and the highest poison dart roll you can get on this particular die, but I can chuck this on the clay golem. As the poison dart indicates, it says, place a number poison effect die on any baddie. Now, of course, this doesn't go on the baddie because this is the die itself. I exhaust this die, it's gone. Sorry, it's not exhausted. This is a consumable die. It's gone from my tray. Like, I'll never see it again. It's used and left. What you do is you replace it with the effect die at 3. So this is going to be our our new counter essentially. So this is going to go on to the clay golem, which is amazing because he's a 5 HP character. He's going to take 3 damage, and that great thing about that is he typically will break or destroy our white dice when we try to attack him by exhausting them. So by us hitting him with poison, we're knocking his HP down without actually expending any of our attack dice on him, which is great. So I'm happy with that. The next thing that I'm really happy about is the fact I got I'm just going to move this tyrant die, is the fact that I got this +3 health, which means Patches doesn't need to use his locked in multiplier yet. I can just take the 3 health. So I am gladly going to do that. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So now I'm right up to full health. So I made complete use of that medkit die, and it gets exhausted until the next battle, but there won't be one because this is the final one. So that's that. I also got 2 bones, and 2 bones can do a number of different things, but the one primary thing it can do is heal me. So I can heal myself for 1, but as you can see, I've already healed using the med kit, so don't need that. But what I do have is I have a mechanical boomerang, and this is incredibly awesome because what I can do is I can chuck this boomerang at I can choose to expend these 2 bone dice right away. And it says, select any baddie and do 2 damage to it. So I'm going to choose the Bog Frog, which is going to take 2 damage off of him. Then I'm going to add the 2 damage that I just did by attacking him. And that removes the Bog Frog from the game. So we've killed off one of the enemies. Now the only risk here by using the mechanical boomerang like I just did, and these dice are now done, so I can kind of put them off the side, is that I have to roll a d6, as we know, and if it lands on a 1 or 3, I get the boomerang back, and if it's 4 to 6, I don't. So here we go. Let's see if the boomerang came back to me. It does. That's amazing. So a 1 to 3, the boomerang comes back. That's great news. So we don't have to flip this over. I'll leave it. That's awesome. I'll just keep the D6 there, and I'll keep staring at that D3, or D6, sorry, so I can imagine how lucky I am so far. Or just kind of contemplate on how amazing this all turned out. The next thing not to forget about is we did remove the lane 2 baddie, being the Bog Frog, so we're going to go ahead and take the initiative die, which would have triggered next off the battle or off the initiative track, essentially. So the great thing about that is 1 less baddie to hit Patches right now in this particular round. But sadly, the clay golem is going to go now. The positive is we chucked a poison dart at him, which is going to hit him for 3. This is going to bump down to 2, meaning on the next turn, I don't even have to attack him, although I probably should. He's going to just die from poison anyway. So that's awesome. So I've taken him down with 3 right there. He's going to obviously, he's a melee character. He's going to try to get orthogonally beside me. So he's going to move 2 through the bog to get to me. and he's more than happy to use his 1 attack die, if you can see that there, against Patches to see what he can do to me. So here we go. I'm going to re-roll that because I don't consider dies that are kind of on the side a good roll. 1, okay, so I will take that 1 damage. I don't have any effective defense dice, so that I can't block. But you know what? That's not bad. And at this point in time, we've actually finished round 1, so we can just shuffle the 3 remaining initiative dice down. We're going to round 2. In round 2, we've got ourselves an interesting character in Drellen, who's still loving the fact he puts such a massive hurting on Patches. The good thing is Patches should be capable of preventing damage. Here's where things get really dicey. If he rolls, he's rolling 3 attack dice. If he rolls 5 or 6 damage, Patches is dead. I don't have any defense up right now, and that's a real big concern. Now, the one thing to note as well, he has 1 die used for defense. He will gain and roll, not gain, but he always can roll up to however many dice are not active. So he can normally roll 2, but 1 is active and waiting, so he can only roll the extra 1. And he always gets his Tyrant die. So now he's rolling a total of 5 dice here against me. So here's hoping that this doesn't pan out. I want to see lots of bones. Okay, so we got some, okay, this one's not, again, flat, so I'm going to roll that again. Okay, so it's a bone. All right, so there we go. So we got 1, 2, 3 hits. Oh, he did manage to poison me, though. So this is where things get really cool. I'll deal with this one first. But essentially, this die right here correlates to the poison on the Tyrant die. It says, targets are poisoned for 2. Place effect die on the target. So what I'm going to do is play the Spirits of Ebon, which is preventing the application of 1 effect die to your gear lock. I'm consuming this potion to stop this Tyrant die from actually putting anything on Patches, which is really great because it's going to allow me to stay alive that much longer. So that was really useful. So he's not going to be poisoned. He rolled a bone on his defense, so he's not going to be able to put a 2nd defense die on himself, which is good. We want to keep all the defense dice off of him that we can, so he's more capable of taking damage later once we get rid of the Clay Golem. But he did, in fact, hit me for 3, and I have to take that damage. I can't do anything about it, so that gets me down to 2, which is still pretty dicey. So that is that. Now, this is where things get interesting, because that is the end of Drellen's turn. Things get very interesting right now. And the reason is because Patches goes right now. He initiates. He's got 2 health. He's going to heal himself for 1. He's not poisoned in any way, so he's got half health. Now, I do think healing myself would be good, but I have to remember I've only got 1 more healing die left. Now, the crazy thing about this is I have to roll these dice at the same time. So I'd be taking kind of a gamble, but I'm definitely rolling 2 defense dice this turn because I have the ability to roll 2 defense. And I need as much defense to prevent him from taking damage. But I could also roll bones on these and really be in some serious trouble. I'm going to get rid of this Tyrant die for now. So the other thing is that you'll notice I have the 2 poison on the Clay Golem. So I don't want to hit him with anything because at the end of the day, he's going to die from poison alone on his next initiation, which just happens to be in the next turn. Meaning that it'll come around to Drellen again, and Drellen will be the one kind of pummeling him with damage. And he's got 3 attacks, so we're going to need these defense dice to be good. And so the other thing I'm kind of contemplating is wondering whether or not I should be doing anything else. Now, Toxins becomes kind of essentially useless now because I can't use Toxins on Drellen, and there's no point in adding it to him because he's going to die from poison anyway. The only other thing that this would be good for is rolling it and hoping for bones. Because if I roll it and I get bones, I can kind of get the Boomerang kind of going, or at least start to build that up so that I can use the Boomerang when this guy's dead on Drellen. So this might, I'm going to roll this, but I'm going to be hoping for bones. Otherwise, if I get a poison die, it really doesn't do anything because it's only gonna up his current poison value if it's higher. That's the only thing it's gonna do. It won't reduce it, but it could up it. So I could either up it, which yay doesn't do anything, he's dead anyway, or it's gonna give me some bones, which I'd prefer. But I'm gonna roll this. This is where it gets dicey. Dicey. I have 6 dice, but I'm also at 3 health. So if I roll and really hope that I get 2 defense here that are good, I should be okay. But I don't really know how that's going to pan out, or if I should use a med pack right now to get myself back up to full health. I'm going to risk it because This game is all about taking risks, and I think it'll be fun to just give it a shot and see if the defense dice can hold and give me enough defense to keep me alive through Drellen's attack. It's very, very sketchy, I'm not going to lie. The other downside too is if Drellen manages to roll a poison, ooh, that would really hurt him. You know what? I think I'm going to have to... Well, at the end of the day, I'm not rolling attack dice anyway. What am I talking about? I'm only rolling toxins, 2 defense. I don't need attack on him to kill him. The poison's going to do the job for me, so I can easily roll my med pack. And then, of course, I have this one here to multiply if it's bad. Can I do anything else? I have 2 other decks. It doesn't really help me to move anywhere because I can only move 1 spot anyway. So there's really nothing else I can do. I could use mechanical assistance right now, though, to increase my dex to run away from him like a coward. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm changing my whole plan here. So I'm going to use mechanical assistance to increase my dex by 3 for this turn. Then I'm going to end up rolling. I'm not going to roll this particular die just yet, but I'm going to roll the defense, and I'm going to roll this die here. I'm also going to roll, or let me think about this. This would be 2 decks to go here, 2 decks to go here, 2 decks to here. That's 6. By using this mechanical assistance, it gives me 3. So then I need to use 3 from my pool of 6. Perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to heal this round. I'm going to play kind of ring around the rosy with Drellen, kind of screw him over a little bit. So here we go. Change of plans, guys. So I'm moving, or first I guess what I'll do is, yeah, you move first and you attack. So I'm gonna have Patches actually use his dex to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not... Oh, it doesn't matter. No, it's fine. 1, 2, 3. The poison's going to kill him anyway. So I'm going to get as far away from Drellen as possible. He's a melee character, so he's not going to be able to get to me next turn. I'm going to roll my 3 dice. This is going to allow me to roll for toxins and for defense, but really I'm just rolling to try and get bones. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Oh my goodness. This plan is coming together perfectly. Okay, so then I'm going to take these 2 bones. I'm going to dock it into my active. So when you get 2 bones, we never talked about this before, you just up it by 1. So essentially this counts as 2 being covered because of the 2 symbol on the die. And I've got 2 defense for later. Amazing. That could not work out any better. Okay, so that's the end of my turn fully. I've used all of my decks, including the mechanical assistance, to help me out. I do have the ability to use the Boomerang, but I'm going to wait to chuck that Boomerang at him later. So now we're going to go ahead, and the Clay Golem is going to initiate. Wonderfully, the poison is going to hit him for 2, killing him before he even has a chance to do anything. So he's gone off the map. Goodbye, Mr. Clay Golem. You are done. So we are down to a head-to-head match at this point. So we can take the yellow die off the track. It is only the 2 of us. So we're going to trick this down just a bit, and we're going to jump to round 3. Okay, so here we go. What happens next? Now, this is the good thing. Drellen's going to try to get towards me, but he's not going to be able to get right on me. So I'm going to have Drellen move 1 and then 2 because this is the most logical movement for him. From here, he can't do any attacking, so he won't roll any attack dice, but he will roll the 1 defense dice because they're always going to try to buff themselves up. In terms of the poison tyrant die, this says set any existing poison effect die to 3. Well, that wouldn't do anything anyway in this case. And poison 2 says targets are poisoned for 2, but he needs to be a target by being orthogonally beside me. So rolling this die, even though, in the rules it likely says you're supposed to roll it still, but it won't, regardless of the result, he's not in a place to actually affect me with anything. So the only thing that gives him anything is just defense at this case, or at this point. So we've activated him in round 3, so I put his dice up. He's going to roll for his defense. He got a bone, so nothing on his, he's not going to add an additional defense die, so that's awesome. And I get to go. So now Patches is going to take another health chip underneath. So he's up to 4. He's in much better shape. And he's going to get a little aggressive here. So what I'm going to do is... Now this is where things hurt me a little bit because I'm going to have to spend 2 decks to get to here, leaving me with only 4 left. With 4 left, let me think. Oh, I got some good... I don't really need a lot there. I got the bone saw. So I'd probably use the bone saw. I'd probably use... these 3 dice, and I could potentially use the med pack. probably should, but I've got enough defense. I don't think I need to use the med pack yet. I think I'm gonna risk it. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna move Patches. Remember, we're in the bog, and as it says here, it costs an additional dex. So I'm gonna have him move here for 2 decks, leaving me with 4 decks left. I'm gonna use all this attack die, including the bone saw. And I've always got the Boomerang ready to give him 2 damage now, because remember, he's in trouble based on the fact that he no longer has anyone else in the bog, so he can take damage now. So let's do this first and see if we can get past his shields at least. All right, so we got a 2, we got a 2, we got a 1, and we got a 1. So that's 6 damage, but he blocks 2 of it. So he takes 4. 2, 3, 4. So he takes half his health down. That was a huge hit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to expend my backup plan for the Boomerang. And so the Boomerang now is going to go into effect. It says any baddie, select any baddie and do 2 damage, and then roll a d6. So we're going to hit Drellen for 2 more. So he's down to 2 now. He's really hurting. We're going to roll this and see if we get this guy back. We didn't, so we've lost our Boomerang. So the Boomerang's gonna flip over like this. We no longer have it to use, sadly. I also have to exhaust this die. It doesn't come back because I've used it now. And of course the Toxin die, sorry, is also exhausted. All these ones that I used that are from the skills are exhausted that way. I still have a med pack, but I've used everything I can this particular turn. He's very, very low on health. And so I've just gone, this is the end of this round, and we go to the 4th round, okay? So in the 4th round, Drellen gets to go again. He's gonna be able to use 3 attack dice as normal. He gets to roll 2 defense dice and his Tyrant die, and he's adjacent to me, so he's probably more than happy to do all of this. So let's see how this pans out. Okay, so he got a bone, that's good. He gets 1 defense, which is minor. He's got 3 hits on me. Thankfully, I've got 2 defense to block 2 of them. So only 1 ends up getting through. That's good news. I'm okay with that. And then he rolled a bone on his defense like we talked about, so that's gone. And he gets this one, and this one is Poison Enhancer. It only does anything to me if I have the poison effect on me, and I still don't. So this did nothing to me. And now it's Patch's turn. He's gonna go ahead next. He's gonna give himself an extra health. And we're going to go in with 4 regular attack dice, take this guy down, and I'm going to also take 2 defense dice so that if I fail this, I can pull this off somehow. All right, here we go. We need 3 attack, and we've won the game. We've won and taken out Drellen. There we go, guys. We got it. I mean, we overkilled it there. So we got 4 damage plus the 1. 4 coming across. He blocks 1, and then 2 go through. Guys, Drellen is gone. He is done. We've taken him out. Patches was successful. That is awesome. We used all of our loot. We used everything in order to do this. That was a ton of fun. We didn't even have to use the med pack. That's crazy. Or the locked in multiplier die for these. That's insane. So, I mean, we obviously played it right, guys. So first off, I want to thank everybody for your comments and feedback. It's been so much fun playing through this. We did, in effect, take out the Tyrant. As I said at the beginning of the video, I will definitely be doing a 2-handed gearlock playthrough, and we'll likely be going, instead of to the earlier objective point on the map, we'll go to one of the later ones, so it'll be even more of an epic playthrough, especially using 2 gearlocks. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next playthrough, Gloom of Kilforth. Keep rolling solo.